Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hello Dave with Down to Earth Astronomy. It's Monday, so let's have a look at what's been going on in Elite in the past week and what's going to happen in the time to come. First of all, of course, last week we had the Odyssey Alpha Phase 3 landing, with the focus now being on exploration. We got access to the Artemis suit as well as the genetic sampler, aka the Dyson, as has been dubbed by players. There'll also be other changes made to the game, especially now the detailed surface scanner will now be able to show you a heat map of the planet where different biological life forms can be found. So if you're looking for plant life, that kind of thing, you can now get a heat map on the planet showing you where you're most likely to find these things. Very nice addition. I think it's a great idea. I think it's better than the old system where you would just have like targetable like patches and you go to those. So it's now more evenly spread out. So I think that's great to see, and yeah, thumbs up for that. However, this new genetic sampler is a bit of a miss for me, mainly around the whole little mini game. In case you haven't seen the mini game, it's like some rotating circles with different bars and different colors, and you have to line an inner circle up that's rotating around with an outer circle, and you have to click at just the right time, and then you have to go in a circle and then click again at just the right time, and then it goes faster and faster the further you go. You need to do that 3 times, and once you're done with that, you then have to go and collect another sample of the same plant at a further distance, and then do that a 3rd time, and then you're done with 1 plant. And that's one of the things. I mean, first of all, I don't like the minigame, because if you fail one of the rings, it will send you out a level, so you will lose one of the lock rings, and that is a super frustrating process. You have to move around so much, you have to run over and back and forth, because now these patches will contain a multitude of different life forms. And if you're collecting plant life form A, and you then do that 3 times, and you have to go quite far in between each sample, but now you want to do B, then you have to run backwards through the same patch, do it again, and then you want to do C, and you have to do it again, and you're running back and forth, and it's an annoying process. And I really hope that one of the things they're going to change is allowing us to have more canisters, these sampling canisters, a little bit like bins that we have in refineries. I think that would be great if we could have them with bins, and then there could be an upgradable thing maybe, so you could start with maybe just a default one, have just 1 bin, and let them be upgraded, and then you might be able to get 2 or 3, or maybe start with 2 bins and then upgrade to 3 or 4, something like that. I don't know. Something along those lines I think would be a lovely thing. And then the little rotating minigame, I think that needs an overhaul. These like Twitch reactions minigames, we have them other places in Elite, of course. We have them with subsurface mining. And I think they work okay there, where you have to click at just the right time, or in this case, release at just the right time. But for exploration, it doesn't feel right for exploration. The minigame in itself, I think, was very frustrating. But just the fact that everything else around scanning or exploring Elite is where you can sit down, you can take it slow, and you get rewarded for doing things correctly. Like if you look at the detailed surface scanner, you have if you get a bonus if you can probe the planet with less than a certain threshold of probes, which is great. So you get rewarded for sitting down, taking your time, and saying, okay, how do I place these probes right around the surface? Or you could just go and just shoot probes everywhere and then forfeit the efficiency bonus. But now we're in this here where you are getting like, you suddenly begin to be using your Twitch reactions or faster clicking at the right time. It just doesn't feel right. Same with the FSS scanner, that it's also one of those things where you can learn the spectrum, so you might be able to at a glance look at an FSS spectrum and tell which planets, which planet types, and which objects are available in the system. I think that's great that there's something you can learn as a player. I do hope though that it is something that Frontier is going to be changing. I'm pretty sure it is with the amount of feedback they have. And to be fair, Frontier has definitely been listening to some of the feedback they've been getting here doing the alpha. One of the things they also changed doing this phase, for instance, was that we can now change suits from the little mission panels on station, something we couldn't do before, and something I myself and many others have said that is really counterintuitive. I did a feedback video after phase 1 where I said that's really weird. Why can't we do that? Can't we get a changing room? They just implemented it on the console, works just fine. And that's really nice to see. Frontier listened to the feedback and they changed it. But we'll have to wait and see when next phase comes out, or if we see any changes to the genetic sampler in the alpha, or if it's something we will hopefully see before the game goes live. Now I have some other very exciting news for the channel here. My old monitor was beginning to develop some problems with burn-in and color accuracy problems. So the colors were sometimes quite off, and it made sometimes editing very difficult because I wasn't really sure if some of the weird colors I would sometimes see was due to the monitor being weird, or it was the recording that's gone bad. So sometimes it wasn't that bad. It was just something was noticeable that looks really weird, or why is that so low quality? Monitor was beginning to get to the end of its life. It also has some issues with burn-in. Not permanent burn-in, it's an ISP panel, so it shouldn't do that, but it had like temporary burn-in where I would, if I have text at the channel, for instance, right now I have my notes up for Hello Dave. So if I have that on the screen, I have that on for like 15-20 minutes, how long it takes to record this. And then when I moved it, it would kind of be ghosting, kind of burned in on the screen for like 15 minutes, and then it would go away on its own. But it was just quite annoying when you're working on it. You'd always have this like burned in text everywhere. And it was just, monitor was getting to the end of its life. But long story short, I got a new monitor. I got a Acer Concept D CP3, or the model number is CP3271. Very, very beautiful monitor. This is one of those where the one I previously had was it was a gaming focused monitor that was, at least when it was new, good enough to do content creation on and do more color critical work, where this is a monitor designed for color accurate work, but that's also very well suited for gaming. It's a 4K monitor. That brings me to the whole point of bringing this in, that my videos going forward, well, almost there's a few pre-recorded ones, but the videos I'm making from now on will be available in 4K. I did a survey on my channel a while back where 29% of you were actually watching my videos on a monitor that was capable of displaying higher than the 1080p I've been uploading videos in so far. I know only 12% of you said that you could actually watch the full 4K, but I'm expecting the number to increase over time. So for those of you who are on high resolution monitors, TVs, that kind of thing, you can now enjoy your down-to-earth astronomy videos in 4K. Now I should say that this is not going to change for Hello Dave. Hello Dave will stay at 1080p because Hello Dave is intended to be something I can do quick, and that means I also want to have short render times, and therefore I'm going to keep it at low resolution. Live streams, similar, will also still be streamed in 1080 and not in 4K, mainly because I do not have transcoding options right now. So that means that if I want to stream, I have to have horsepower to do it. If I wanted to stream in 4K, everybody, even if they want to watch in 1080, would still have to get the full 4K stream that will then be compressed and displayed at a lower quality on their end. Because I do not have like full transcoding in all the different resolutions, so you will still have to get the full stream. And it will be a significant increase in bandwidth, and that means that people on lower bandwidth will not be able to watch the live streams. So therefore live streams will stay at 1080p, and the Hello Dave will stay at 1080p, but all other videos as they come up will come up in 4K. Now, I actually ran into a rather interesting problem that I probably should have foreseen, but didn't. So I just before starting recording here, finished rendering one of the videos that's going to come out later this week, which is a 4K video. And the problem was I was actually getting bottlenecked on system memory. I was running out of RAM, simply because the video files are now bigger. I still have plenty of bandwidth out to my storage server, so I can still like live edit off the server even in 4K. But as soon as I start rendering, I just max out my 32 gigs of RAM, and that of course bottlenecks everything, because now I'm suddenly swapping to drive instead. And that means that my renderings are significantly slower, not only because of the increased resolution, but also because I'm running out of memory. So I have to upgrade my rig. I have already ordered more, like an upgraded pack, so I can upgrade the RAM in the machine. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get the render times back to something a little bit more acceptable. But that was a bit of an unforeseen issue. Probably should have foreseen that coming, but yeah, could have, should have, didn't. But it's okay. I can still render, it just takes a little bit longer. But hopefully with a system upgrade, that's all gonna be sped up again. Now this is a great example to actually show where like Patreon money and donation money goes to. I already said that like those two income, Patreon donations, they go dedicated to things that helps me make better looking and more videos for you guys. And this is one of the situations where I got an equipment upgrade, and this is directly going to allow me to give you videos in a high resolution. And if I do stuff that require color accurate work, I can now do it more accurate than I could before. Not that gaming videos really need that much color work on it, unless you really want to sit and play around with it. But I usually try to keep the game videos relatively close to what they were in game. I don't feel like I want to do a whole lot of color grading on them, since that's already, well, most of it's done in game. I just finally want to talk about the live stream tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure about the topic. I have been considering if I should go back into Odyssey. I don't really want to play around with the whole exploration side of it at the moment because I feel like I kind of tried that out last time. It was a bit of a frustrating process, and until Frontier makes changes, I'm not going to go and spend more time on that for now. So that would mean if I'm going to play Odyssey, we're going to go and look at like suit upgrades, weapon upgrades, go out, collect materials for that. Stuff like that could be an interesting topic maybe. Alternatively, we can go and do something over in the main game. Most of my running projects in the main game has been put on hold here doing Odyssey. I finished most of them up before Odyssey Alpha hit on purpose. That means I don't really have any larger running projects over on the main server. So if I am going to go on the main server, I might just go and do like a good old exploration live stream, like take out my my colonial, let's fly around, let's find some planets. These live streams are always like super casual, super fun, and it gives me a good opportunity to sit and talk a little bit more to you guys than I do doing some of my other type of live streams. But I'd love to hear your opinion in the comment section. What do you think? Should I go and do some more Odyssey content? Should we go and do some good old exploration? Or do you have a completely different idea that you think could be good for a live stream? Then do post them in the comment section and I will take a look at it. But that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll see you guys in space.